In divorce cases, you have the option where the parties have to buy out the other party, or they're going to have the property sold. And that's where you come in. So many times the realtor comes in either by mutual agreement of the parties. So everybody's happy. They say, oh, Alex is a great realtor. He's a good friend of such and such. We know him. We'll agree to use this person to sell the property. Those situations are ideal. So you have the cooperation of both parties. A lot of times we don't have the cooperation of both parties. The judge has to be presented with an option of picking this realtor over another realtor. The only time a court can distribute a property is if it's been asked for, and we call that a partition action. So when we file for divorce, you're filing to separate the parties and filing to separate the assets and the liabilities. But there's another part that needs to be included in the pleadings, which is specifically to partition property. And that gives the judge the authority to sell the property. As realtors, you need to know who owns the property, right? Sometimes the property was purchased before the marriage. Only one person is the titled owner of that property. In that case, the spouse may have interest in that property, and the court has to, or the parties have to decipher how much is owed to each party. If the other thing that you need to know as the professional is that you need to know if the court has issued that partition. If the court has issued a partition, the court has provided detailed instructions on how this property can be distributed. So the court's going to be detailed on who's paying the mortgage, what happens with the deposits and the escrow accounts that are associated with this property. The court's going to determine how the maintenance and upkeep of this property is going to be held. The court's also going to say whether or not there's a lockbox on that property and how much the realtor will have access to this property. So as you get pulled into this situation, you need to know very clearly some of these details that may not be part of your customary real estate transaction. So there's a single woman who falls in love, and they decide that they're going to live together in her apartment. And in the process of living together, they're going to search and look for some rebuilt property so that they can invest, put money into it, put their sweat into it, and build it to be their dream home. And she does that. She buys a property for $150,000. They start to contract with general contractors. They start to talk to interior designers. They pick out tile. They get the countertops. They're putting in money into this property. It takes about 1.5 years to get this to where it's perfect, what she really, really loves and cares for. Then they break up. He tells her, time to leave. Give me the key. This is my property. You can't live here anymore. What do you think happens? What do you think is her recourse in this situation? And let me tell you, what her primary goal is and what her desire is to have this beautiful dream house. What do you think?